Hey everybody, Super Strider here. I'm back with another recording as promised. Part 2 of the game I'm working on, using Zelda Classic, obviously you can see. And for this testing video, I'm actually going to commandeer my friend Andres' save, because he's at the same point and I had him try it out. And I'm actually doing a different recording setup this time, so hopefully there's not going to be any screw-ups when it comes to the audio, so... unlike the debacle that the first one is. And yes, I have fixed my health bar! I'm still working on the energy bar because it still displays numbers. And another thing is, I made some modifications to the sound effects, as you can hear. As well as the counter for your crossbow bolt should be reading 0 because I fixed that, because you're not supposed to carry those yet. But this was, and he saved it before I made that change, so, I don't want to bother messing around with it. So I'm just showing you around as of right now, as I'm defeating the Magret scum. And yes, some of these sound effects are from RPG Maker, as you can probably guess, because that's where I'm getting most of my stuff, because it's open source nowadays. Yo, I got what you need. Buy something, all right? Yeah, you're gonna need I'm gonna need this for the level 2. And I still do not know why that screen or that thing up there is like that. I still haven't fixed it yet. I'm probably just gonna change those colors. Because if the green doesn't want to work and it's still stuck in red or whatnot, I'll just make it a different color. I'm rambling. How you guys doing? And I'm pretty sure Seth's going to watch this, and I'm probably going to run into a few graphical bugs because I still do not know how to do them correctly. And he's just going to comment on it because he's apparently going to do, because I'm going to post what I've gotten done so far online, so other people can play it and give me suggestions. And I've noticed that, albeit the first 2 dungeons, I'll cover it when I get to that. I've been sick for the past week. Oh yeah. Some of the sound effects I also recorded myself. Like when you take damage, it's actually me. And the sounds like the boomerang swinging around. Interestingly enough, that's from me recording myself swinging a coat hanger. And the sword, I have a wooden sword at home, and I recorded the noise it makes when I swung that. So yeah, some sound effects are basically. Oh, and I just noticed a graphical bug right there. That piece right there, as you can see up there, I can't, or like that one block on the edge needs to be fixed, but oh well. Here's one like it too, down here. Because they were put there just to block you off this area. I'm just probably going to clear that area out. Whatever. You guys don't care. All this debris is making it impossible for anyone to pass through this area. If I had some explosives on me, though, I'd use them to clear a path. I think I saw some in the yellow warehouse south of here. Okay, that's your objective now. To get to level 2, you need to go get bombs. Or explosives or whatever. I'm trying to distance myself from the Legend of Zelda stuff. And to do the regular recording, or the recording this way, so that you notice there's no frame rate issues now. I have this streaming to my TV, and then using the thing that I originally ripped video game footage for my reviews and the Let's Plays and stuff like that. That's how I'm doing it right now, and there's probably a way I should have done it in the first place. So, give me that. And so we're in level 2. Or Area 2, Demolitions Depot. I've already made some changes to this dungeon because I ran into a few issues when I was first testing yesterday. And I don't know, as of this recording, because I'm recording this on Saturday, I think it's the 8th. And I don't know when this is going to go up because, well, it's freaking cold outside, and I don't have internet at home. But yeah, you see, the first type of puzzle I have right here is this multi-screen multi-screen little maze that you have to navigate. And if you make some wrong turns, like right here, dead end. And yeah. Hold still. And there we go. You have to go over there to get that key card. But I've noticed that my first two dungeons are a little lacking on the puzzle aspect for Puzzle Quest. Yeah, there's puzzles in there and stuff like that, but it revolves more around enemies and stuff like that. And I have gotten a few ideas already for level 3 that I'm going to do, but I've already shared with my friend Seth. Which, if he starts doing this on his YouTube page, I'm going to post links to it on mine. And I'll tweet it and stuff like that. Yeah, we need to go up. I've been sick, it's been cold outside, my voice is starting to go back to normal. Sorry, I got a cough. Oh, we got a puzzle. We got a block puzzle. And we got fire! Okay. This little puzzle right here is relatively simple to solve. Because all you have to do is this. And I'm just pushing these two just because I can. Because why? Why not? And Otis, you probably also noticed this thing right here. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Because I don't have the necessary item to go through there yet. And we're dealing with hunters. Hunter Magrets. Which I'm probably going to have to explain that word. Because I don't know if I did it in the first part. If I did, I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but if I didn't, whatever. The term Magret, which I'm referring to these guys as, is that they're the Magret Army. When I was a kid, I used to pretend I was a superhero. And I referred to myself as, well, basically, because my first name is John the Super Strider. And that's where my username Super Strider came from. I came up with it when I was in elementary school, and it just sort of stuck with me my entire life. So if you're wondering where it came from, and no, it has nothing to do with Strider Hiryu. Or the Strider from Lord of the Rings. I just made up the name. It's the word, because I thought it sounded cool. Some enemies may fool you with illusions, but the real targets differ somewhat to the fakes. Defeat him and the others will fall. And the screen just color corrected for some reason. I have no idea. It's probably because I have the capture thing that's streaming to my TV, it's dangling, and it probably just moved. Okay, here's one of the things I want to have changed, and right now I have a placeholder for. See this energy crystal? It activates when you slash it. But for some reason, it doesn't stay on when you leave the screen, even though I have the set screen all secrets are permanent. As well as so when you leave the screen to try to go around, it resets and the door's shut again. So I had to actually place this part right here as a placeholder tile, which is why it's a different color, which is going to be removed later, and I want to actually make an animation of one of the crates just falling into the floor. And then you just walk over it. But until I figure out how to do that, which, Steph, you're going to probably tell me how to do it. For those of you who don't know who Seth is, who I'm referring to, is, check his YouTube channel. I think it's Severoth WS. I could be wrong. I know that's his Minecraft name. But I know, and he's part of the group known as Twisted Sin. I explained this in the first episode, but for those of you who didn't see that, or couldn't hear me talking over the garbled audio, he does a series with that's hosted by Mindless Puppets, if you've seen him on there, or follow him on Twitch or whatnot. And I know him outside of the Twisted Sin thing, because I never knew that group existed. I only know Seth because I know him in real life. Because we went to high school together. And he's the reason why I know all about, that just let me walk through the closed door, but that's how the thing works with the secret combos. So my professor sees that, he's going to say, yeah, you messed up there. That's something I don't know how to fix as of yet, because I'm still learning this program. So basically I'm teaching myself how everything works in this. Ow. I was so happy when I first discovered how to do layers, which is one of the most simplest things probably that most people now know how to do in Zelda Classic, to make a color thing. And that's one of the things I didn't know how to do. But I'm rambling and I'm not making any jokes because I suck at it. Because I had people flame me on eBay, or on YouTube saying, they're like, no, you're not funny, no one laughs at your jokes. I'm like, I'm working by myself here. And we have a dark room. And again, I'm using enemies that actually use the dungeon tile set so that they blend into the darkness so you can't see them. And you can see that number that popped up on the energy meter. On another note, I'm trying to get better, but I've been sick, like I said, and I still haven't replaced that sound effect. As well as the spawn and the death animations are default Zelda Classic. Now, there's a trick in this room, which I'm going to show you right now. You don't have to defeat all the enemies in here. You can just keep going. Ah! And I need to get rid of that sound effect, too. So, that was awkward. Luckily, I didn't go back very far. Ow. Ow, stop it! I'm actually gonna focus instead of talking because I tend to do better when I focus. But I'll resume once we get back to that room. Fire, why you have to be so hot? Ow! Stop it! I do love having diagonal movement, though. And I'm also utilizing, which one thing I did not cover in the tutorial, is if you look at the top, you can use the L and R buttons, or, well, you set buttons so you can actually cycle through your items without having to go to the sub-screen. But that's only if you actually set them, and you gotta set your buttons regardless. Oh, and I forgot. If you press select, you can do this. You can view a map of where you've been so far. That's actually pretty cool. I discovered that recently. Ah! Good thing you got a med kit. And I need to replace that sound effect too. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to pick those up yet. And when but I would have to restart the game and actually or start from the very beginning to actually fix that. And that's been fixed in my test folder or my test game thing. Now this is what the enemy. This is the enemy what the professor was talking about when he gave you that hint. Some enemies create illusions. Whereas I'm going to have more enemies like this, where room layouts like that, and I think I just messed up. Yeah, I messed up. Whereas there's going to be a difference between the types of enemies. Right now, it's pretty obvious. The real one does not flicker and does not go all over the place. But I'm giving you a heads up now how this works later. Yeah, I could probably save that. How it works later is that it's going to be much more subtle when it comes to these types of room layouts, to the point where the enemies... Ugh, sorry, I had to burp. These enemies, the real one does not differ from the illusion at all, and then you just have to try around wildly. It just gets... The differences get more and more subtle. And it's actually encouraged for you to be more perceptive. You see, it's just, I'm looking for people who actually has a really good eye. Okay, now we're in the room we need to get to. But yeah, you're not supposed to pick up bombs yet, which has been fixed in my regular test save file. It's just that this version, this game, or this save file that I'm using right now, didn't have that ability enabled. So you can start bombing immediately right away on this. But that has been fixed, Professor. I'm just letting you know that. And now you're supposed to have bombs. Like, I've already taken care of that little glitch. It's just that there was an issue with the save file. And I couldn't do much. And I need to get rid of that sound effect. And now you get to see what those rusted walls are for. And now we got a mad bomber. Which you can actually exploit like this. And money! Money, money, money! There's a reason why I gave you 100 in there. That room is secret. That was not on the map. As you can see. As well as, if that guy hits you with a bomb, you're dead. There's no ways around it. He is that strong. He does that much damage. Alright, let me get back to the beginning. Switch back to this. I throw my boomerang at you. But even then, even with that little glitch with the bomb thing on this save file, I still didn't get them until this dungeon. Because none of the other enemies dropped them. And if it does drop, it's very rare. There we go. Now we're back here. I need to get rid of that sound effect, too. Ow! These hunters actually are camouflaged with, like, again, like I said, I'm using the Dungeons palette for them, so they actually blend in with the dark. I'm like, I'm going to have some more crafty enemies like this that require a bit more outside thinking. And we got the USB drive. Okay, now there's a glitch in this room. Which... Ow! I forgot, I can't block those. Yeah. Oh! Yeah, I want to actually set up, and Seth's going to probably tell me how to do this, and just say, you're an idiot for not knowing this. Where I want to actually set it up so that you have to activate each one of these individually. I'm like, this one, the red ones are only be activated by fire. Green can only be activated by bombs. Yellow, we already discussed in the first one, can only be activated by boomerang. And the white one can only be activated by the sword. Ow. Now he has monies. And since we has monies, I'm going to leave the dungeon real quick. Because there's an item I'm going to need that I can afford. And I'm about to... And I'm dead. Yeah. We can continue on to the next area, but I'm going to show you some other things first before I finish the last dungeon, or the next dungeon. But first, I'm buying myself a shield upgrade. There we go. And I noticed a little thing with the shield when you're going up. There we go. I'm going to get myself some med kits. Now I got 2. And now I can actually block projectiles. But we're going to do this real quick. Because this is a secret area that's strictly puzzle only. And there's a trick in this place, which I will explain when we're done. Because why ruin it? So we're going to do these little slidey block puzzles real quick. But this gives me an idea of other things that I can do for puzzle ideas. And these are not, and this is not, or like I discussed some of them with Seth over the phone. And he said, you're just evil for planning on this. I'm like, the trick, I just told him flat out. I'm like, it sounds like, because one of them, it sounds like it's very dickish of me to do. But what I made a caveat when I said it. I'm like, yeah, it does sound horrible and vindictive, but I'm going to make this type of puzzle that's going to be insanely difficult and obtuse and stuff only optional. So it's your own damn fault if you get stumped and then you don't start yelling at me when I can clearly make the solution, when I clearly know that there's a solution. Alright, push that up, push that over, push these up. But we'll cover those when I finally design those areas. Move my little guy over there. And I need to fix that graphic with the shield when you're going up. Which I'm going to work on later. excuse me while I'm solving this. So, my voice is giving out a bit too, so sorry if I'm not talking that much. I want to focus on this first. Okay, now we got his little heart. Okay, now there is a little secret devious trick for this area. If you messed up on any one of those dungeons and had to reset the room, you go back to the start as punishment. Now that I have more health, as well as I have a shield that can block more stuff. Let's head back to level 2 and finish it. And oh yeah, members of the Lorcat Mafia! The Lorcat colors. Pink and purple. The graffiti right here is... I actually found some graffiti art or fonts on defont.com. And I just made text things right here. So it actually... And then I just compressed it into single images. Like that. Oh, yeah. So let's just do this. Ninjas! They throw knives! And I can block them now! Ooh, more of these guys. Oh, you gotta get rid of these guys quick, or they do that. Energy drinks. Okay, now this one is really... This puzzle is really simple. But level 3... When I get to level 3, because I'm going to work on that next... I'm going to work on that starting... Or the area up to it. Starting next week. And then work on it proper the week following week. It's going to get a bit more devious. I'm not going to be doing so much as the combat on it. I'm going to put I'm going to put more puzzles in it. And one of the first ideas is, actually, because of the way that you can set multiple warps on the same screen... sorry, let me finish that thought. Put multiple warps on the same screen. Have a series of really obtuse questions, or like, starting off something simple. Where I'm gonna actually probably have my players do math. And if they get the question wrong, you gotta restart. Start off as simple, and then it gets harder as you go on. Did you know that some rooms don't show up on your GPS? Try to find those for some special goodies. Yeah, that's the game hinting at you that there are hidden rooms in certain dungeons. There weren't any in the tutorial because, well, the tutorial is linear on purpose. And we got ninjas! And the boss is in the other room. Ow, ow, ow. least with the boomerang that they throw, you can... Ow! You can actually get a hint of where they're hiding, but they, other than that, they blend in. We got a car key drop. But of course, you couldn't see it because this room is dark. Oh, come on, where's the door? And now we backtrack. This is another gimmick I want to introduce in this dungeon is the secret passages, where I'm probably gonna incorporate more often in my or in later dungeons, where that the actual place becomes a maze, where certain places only go certain ways. And I'm giving you a heads up that later on there's going to be types of rooms that are referred to as, if you've ever played Star Tropics for the NES, as false exits. The idea is you go in this room, the door shuts behind you, and you're forced to leave and start over. Start the dungeon completely and utterly over. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. Kill the bats. Ow. I do love the enemy editor in this, or in this Zelda Classic, because there's so much you can do more with it. And I got a shop within the dungeon! In case you need to restock on supplies, but I have no monies, so I can't do it. Okay, now to get over there. So, but don't mess up. And there we go! Relatively simple maze when you think about it. Or a simple puzzles pushing thing when you think about it, but whatever. And... oh! Oh! I'm about to die! Don't die on me! Oh, come on! Oh, that should be a... that should not be in the overhead layer. That should be underneath your feet. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. Well, I can. I'm gonna grab all the monies. I have no idea how long I've been recording for. But I promise you we're almost to the end of this dungeon, so... And we have our equivalents of Dark Nuts, the Magret Phalanxes. Where these ones are just based off troops, so they don't actually shoot. Later ones will do stuff like that. But the cool thing is that even though they have their shields that block everything in the front, it doesn't work on bombs. I'm just gonna run. Ow. And I just saved you the trouble over here by just having you reappear over here. So you don't have to push those blocks again. I only have $16, so... Ow. I'm dying a lot! So, ow! Get rid of these soul husks. Oh, and there's the flashbang, or like, it's a stopwatch item. I say call it a flashbang in this, but apparently that's not necessarily the case, because it's, or like a stinger grenade or something like that. Just basically when you think of a SWAT ops, or like police officer trying to subdue an enemy or subdue a subject or suspect without actually harming them, using non-lethal force. Those type of grenades, like smoke grenade or CS grenade or whatever, I just called it a flashbang because that's the first thing that popped in my head. And I just modeled it after a real-life one. So, when you collect that item and enemies are on the screen, they stop moving, allowing you to deal with them. And the effect, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the original Zelda, this effect stays until you leave the screen. Very useful. But doesn't show up very often. Set the fire on. Another cool thing I learned is that you can actually deflect bullets and spears or arrows with your sword or with other weapons, sub-weapons. And now we're going to head towards the boss. So forget the ninjas. Zombie! It's a zombie! And I should probably set those enemies to not flash. There, we won. And we got our soul heart. And now the soul gem fragment. And then with this, and I still have to replace that little tomb, but I haven't done so yet. So I'm just using that as a placeholder at the moment. Ow! Get rid of those guys. And now I'm going to show you where you're supposed to use the explosives to go to the next area. Ow. So we have to go to this screen. Stop it. There we go. And now we place the bomb. And then you go through. And this screen is like this. Because we are at the end of this demo. And this is as far as you can go. So, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. The Super Strider signing off. Bye.